Hey, what's up, YouTube? 100% here. 100% Meet You and Gam is a channel you already know. So I said I was going to make a video about, why do people quit Yu-Gi-Oh? So just like my last two videos, I'm just on the web page. I was on my page first, well, the team's page, and then Nintendo's page. I was talking about the presentation, stuff like that. And, now I'm in the Yu-Gi-Oh page because I'm talking about why do people quit Yu-Gi-Oh? No offense to that new game that just came out. I'm not trying to kill sales, but the answer's right in front of us. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. You only can summon 3 monsters or whatever it is. Are you serious? They should have just updated Dual Generation for all that and made that shit official. Like they said it was or whatever it is. But no, they released Duel Links. I can't. All right, let me just go back to what I was. Excuse me, what I was talking about because I'm not even gonna get started on that. But then you have 4,000 life points in that game. Like seriously, at least make it like okay. Leave the at least make it like leave the game the exact same way, the field, Don't cut off stuff from the field. Like it will be basically like Yu-Gi-Oh, but 4,000 life points. Like Duel Links should have been for all that, like the actual show, and that's it. Nowadays, the actual show has real card effects. You know what I mean? It's not like some you know fake effects like when it first started, but like I don't mind if it would have been the exact same new game. The only thing is 4,000, like in the anime. Okay, I mean people will die a lot faster, but maybe all the cards that they would have had is all the cards that came out in the show only. I don't know, but who knows why they didn't do that, but whatever. It's one of the reasons though, because like who's gonna? Like I said, I'm not even going. I mean, I wouldn't play it. That's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, dueling generation for all that. But let me talk about what this video is supposed to be about. So listen up, YouTubers. This is why people quit Yu-Gi-Oh Part 2, and it is most likely like a story time type of thing because it's just like in the beginning it's a story time because this is something that happened to me when I think I was in Chinatown. I was somewhere or up here around where I live at in a local tournament. I was somewhere, Dykeman, I don't know, and we're playing, and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? So I noticed like people were complaining. This is around when like Zexo just came out. You know what I mean? Literally Fadi's finished. Zexo just came out. Like I think the only Exceed cards out there was Utopia and Leviathan and all that other stuff. So that's when people really started quitting. Like people quit a lot. Like it was like 25% of like the Yu-Gi-Oh players quit with the Exceed. Oh my god, no Exceed, this and that, whatever, blah blah. They complain and all that shit. And I'm just like, yo, what? What the fuck? Then like halfway through that shit, no lie, like the percentage was just going up. And then at the end of it, it's like 32% of the population quit. And then now when Arc 5 came out, it was like 50% quit for sure. Probably more than half. Like probably 66%. Like, and I get it. Exceed monsters, they're like trap monsters. If you think about it, for each Exceed material, you could say it's like a trap card because certain effects are slick. So then you have Arc 5 coming out, you have Magic Monsters. I made a video about this, about why people quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was speaking about like how Exceed monsters are trap monsters, and then Panda monsters are literally Magic monsters. So it's just crazy, and it just makes sense. It came out after Arc 5. Like, I mean, it came after Zexo Arc 5. Arc 5 came after Zexo, and it was just like, it's OP because now you could exceed something like crazy. So with that guy that I was talking about, there's like a type of story time. It's like, this guy, he basically just, he was just saying that exceeds are too quick. And, he was defending the 5Ds, and I'm defending the Zexo. I mean, I played 5Ds too. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Since it came out. So he goes on and he's saying like, oh, they just come out too quick and they bring out, they could bring out something decent. I'm just like, yo, bro, they're not even decent. I told him, I'm like, yo, it's just them shit do come out quick, but the effect is garbage. You know what I mean? Like the only good one back then, I think it was like Utopia with the negating effect. Leviathan with the cute juice effect. I think the most useful one, but he had like a he had like a heavy like recoil type of effect was Acid Golem because it was 2 level 3s, I think it was, or 3 level 3s, whatever it was, and he was coming out at 3,000. I think it was 2 level 3s. He's coming out at 3,000. That's beast, you know what I mean? But it's just he can special summon, and then once he has no extra material, take damage or some shit like that, and he can attack directly or something like that, or he can attack period. I don't know, but it's 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense, which is OD. So he was naming all these other ones. I can't remember those. I only can remember those three. I can't remember the others. You know what I mean? And he was just complaining like, "Oh, they come out too quick." So he's like, "You could literally have garbage and just make them." You know what I mean? And but this dude is complaining. I was telling him. You know what I mean? This is what I told him. I'm not gonna say the way you know I could just talk about it. I'm gonna say like how he was saying it. It's obviously not verbatim. It's a long time ago, but so this guy is saying like, oh, but they're he's mind you, he's defending, like I said, he's defending the 5Ds. When 5Ds just ended, when all that beast shit is out, I know Synchro Monsters still were coming out in Zexo, but this is when 5Ds ended. Like they have pretty decent synchros out to the point that I don't know why he's complaining. You could bring a supreme synchro monster out there and just violate, complete annihilate, and not let your monster exceed. But he's just saying it's all about the setup, for he was like, oh, for a synchro monster, you need a tuner at least. He said for an exceed monster, you just need stars. Stars is basically like is like your tuner for exceed monsters. And I understand what he was saying. And I was just like, okay, bro. But you gotta think about it this way. It's not as beast. You're doing it quick, yes, but it's not as beast. You're not bringing out beast shit. And he's like, oh, it's gonna get beast though later on. I said, yeah, just like the synchro monsters when they first came out. The synchro monsters that are out now are not as beast because this is around the time, like I said, towards the end of the beginning of Zexo, basically. I'm like, the way 5Ds ended is a whole bunch of beast as synchros out. The way it started, wasn't that many beast as synchros out. I mean, they started you off good, Stardust Dragon and shit like that. I get it, but and it was a little bit harder to come out, but there's a balance to that. And he was like, all right, but at the end of the day, you still need a tuner. And I was like, okay, but it doesn't matter. And he's like, yes, it does because it makes it slow. I'm like, okay, but in the beginning of 5Ds, it was slower to bring out synchro monsters. You needed a tuner. Now all monsters are a tuner, I get it. But it was slower. Now the fact that it was slower, it brought you out a more decent monster than a exceed of this time. Remember, this is the beginning of Zexo. So I was explaining to him, like, yeah, you could bring out in the beginning of 5Ds a synchro monster with a better effect, but it takes a long time to bring it out. As for Zexo, you could bring out an exceed monster with the quickness. It was just a bum ass effect. Not that Utopia was trash, it was decent, but it was just not as decent as like, you feel me? Like you imagine instead of Utopia having his effect, he would have had a Stardust effect. All you need is 2 level 4s. That would have been OD. You didn't even gotta run a tuner in your deck. That would have been OD, you know what I mean? I gotta just literally just stack it up, pop, overlay. That would have been OD. That's all I was trying to explain to the dude. And take a sip of this. I'm about to really start to explain like why people quit. That's one reason. There's another reason right here. So I'm not gonna say what I basically said in my last episode, but I was just telling him like, that's Yu-Gi-Oh. You can't complain. Even after Arc 5, I'm sure they're gonna come out with some beaster shit, and it usually helps the game, the mechanics, everything. So like, I wasn't trying to bring this up because I know I said this in my last video, and I just finished saying I was not gonna say stuff in my last video, but it's so key. Like Yu-Gi-Oh was all about the vanillas. The first season was about the vanillas. The high attack, the beat stick, and all that shit, right? I'm gonna do a quick version. I'm not gonna say exactly how I said in my last video. You guys can check that video out. But basically, after the first season, GX became all about monster effects, you know? And, back then people wasn't really using ritual monsters and fusion monsters like that. People were just having beast sticks, like, them tribute monsters that comes out with high attacks. Then GX is all about effect monsters. You know what I mean? People forgot about normal monsters because they have non-effect monsters with decent effects with high attack. You know, some that could help out, your opponent in a way, but it still has a high attack. It could push for games so fast, like a chainsaw insect for level 4-star, 24 hitter. Yeah, your opponent draws a card, so what? Draw that card. You're taking 24. That could be game, with 4 hits basically. So, you know, now 5Ds did a really good job. A way better job than GX, because GX made like I said back then, it was all about beat sticks. And I think that Flu Summoning Dragon with Lord of Deeth's throwback, and Blue Eyes, that was like the killer. It's like Vanilla's everywhere, right? And I think Ancient Rules, I think was there. It was expensive back then, but people, if you had that, if you had that type of deck, man, you was out there. But then the Poly and then the Deep Fusion, which was expensive back then, like yeah, you had that deck, you was killing it back then. And then certain beat sticks, the old school combo with, the United Stand, the Mage Power, and the Access Pair, equip, and then attack, basically, that you basically the man, back then. So it was all about attack, that's what I'm saying. But then GX is like, okay, it's not gonna be about attack no more or abusing normal monsters. It's gonna be now about effect monsters, you know what I mean? So get over those normal monsters, but still not make them irrelevant. You can mix the normal monsters with the effect monsters. So Effect Monster took it, and then Synchro Monsters is like, okay, the new type of monster that you use a tuner, you bring out a better effect monster. It's colored white, whatever it is, and it has a stronger effect. And it's another form of summoning a monster without having to summon a monster from your hand. It's like coming from the extra deck now, because Ritual Monster still comes from your hand, basically. But it's coming from the extra deck now. It's like a fusion monster. So that's cool, you know what I mean? It is useful. So a fusion still requires to use parameterization. Now is even faster to bring out something from your extra deck, because it's just like you have a tuner, which is like the poly itself, and it's just like, okay, you can bring this out. That's cool. But I was saying in my last video is that what 5Ds really did, they made monster effects more, and literally all types of monsters more relevant. Like I said, GX made normal monsters even more relevant because you could mix not just normal monsters like how people was running back then in the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, most of the deck was normal monsters, like, the beaters, the Vorce Raider, Mad Dog of Darkness, and stuff like that, Gemini Elves. But then, GX did the same thing. Like, you can run it with monsters that has effect, some downfall effects, but it can help you out. Like, like I said, Chainsaw Insect and there's other cards, that could, become hitters and stuff like that too. Or just a play style of effect monster. So then 5D said, okay, so that's basically what it's about. We got to bring those two things together. How can we bring an effect monster and a tuner monster together even way better? So all these monsters are going to come from the extra deck, like a fusion card. You don't need that extra, polymerization or whatever it is, or a ritual card, or this card will come off from your hand. We're just going to make it faster. So I can bring out an effect monster faster. No ritual card needed, not coming from my hand, and no polymerization needed. Straight from the extra deck. All you need is a tuner. Why did they do that? Because they still trying to bring all cards into one, not just effect monsters, but even normal monsters. Now, when a normal monster has a tuner in its, in its card type, if the monster's a tuner, even if it's normal, it basically has an effect. It could synchro. Okay, it's a normal card, doesn't have an effect. I get it, but it's in some way it still has an effect. The fact that you could synchro someone with it. Like, oh, what does that card do? You summon that vanilla. Oh, nothing. But he syncs up. He does something, you know what I mean? He's just not a normal monster anymore. So that's what 5Ds. That was the goal of 5Ds. That's what 5Ds did. That was the whole point. Not every single vanilla is a tuner, but that's what 5Ds did a pretty good job. So now that's what Yu-Gi-Oh was doing. So it only makes sense for Zexo to come out. That's what I'm want to say in this video. It only makes sense for Zexo to come out, because whenever the new season of Yu-Gi-Oh comes out, it's gonna help the current game even more. So I'm gonna try to expose it, not expose it, because there's not facts, or this is not what is going to happen. But I'm gonna try to guess it basically. Like, what's gonna be the next? If there is, I really want. I believe there is gonna be one. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I would like for another one to come out after Arc 5 because I just love the game so much. So, like I said, it only makes sense for 5Ds to you know, it only makes sense for 5Ds to to do that for the vanillas and all that stuff, and then it would only make sense for Zexal to come out and do that type of summoning. So basically, long story short, I was just telling the guy, dude, this is just how Yu-Gi-Oh is. Everything I just finished saying right now, like I know I was talking about it, I wasn't really saying how the conversation went. Well, the argument went between me and him, but that's yeah, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is. So I mean, it only makes sense that Zexal came out because now it's like okay, 5Ds was beast, Synchro Monsters was beast. Them just coming out way too fast. So what's the next thing? Well, we solidify monster effects in all types of ways, mixing vanillas with monster effects, beaters or whatever it is, and then mixing normal monsters with effects, with the tuning and all that stuff or whatever it is. Now, Synchro Monsters was really, really OP. It was coming out fast, remember? No ritual card needed, it's not coming out from the hand, and you don't need a poly no more. The poly's within the card, the tuning capability. Just have them on the field. That's about it. It's coming out fast. So people needed more traps, you know, to do something about the synchro monsters. You know what I mean? Because spell cards only make things quicker. People care about drawing a lot. You know what I mean? And taking certain shit out the field. But trap cards does that better. You know what I mean? When it comes to taking shit out the field. You know what I mean? It's like Magic cards is known to take out spells and traps, and then trap cards is known for taking out monsters. But see, that's something you got to pay attention. Like if I don't want to expose too much because I don't want to give up my play style. But I guess it would help at this point, and the game is gonna keep changing. But you got to think outside the box. You gotta have an open mind. People already recognize that spells and traps, are gonna be set it. Copy. But when you think about what set it down, the first thing you think about that's a trap card. You don't think it's a spell. See, that's not what people's gonna, you know, always think about. You know what I mean? Like certain people, when I see face down cards, I just don't see trap cards. I see spells too. You know what I mean? But what people think, oh, it's gonna be a trap card. So what do? I mix it. I do put some trap cards face down, but I also put some spell cards face down, not just to bluff, like useful ones. You know what I mean? You gotta know the game and play the game well. That's all it is. Now going to what I was just saying, when it comes to spell cards, spell cards are mostly known to destroy spell and traps, and traps is known to destroy monsters. Why won't you switch the two? Try to destroy some spell and traps with traps. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good traps right now that could destroy spell and traps. I'm just not talking about Dust Tornado, and that one is great too. You actually set a card off that. You know what I mean? And I get it. Spell cards are quicker. That's why they're known for that. But if you utilize both of it, I'm not saying stop using spell cards to destroy spell and traps. Those are quicker, but you can use it. You can utilize both of them, and it will help you out. Same thing for the traps. Like I said, and magics and vice versa. Don't just use traps to take out monsters. Use traps to take out spell and traps. Don't use magic cards to take out spell and traps. Use it to take out monsters. You understand what I'm saying? And mix it in both ways. Because now think about that and think about how it's used. See, when you take out a spell card with when you take out a set down card with a spell card, you use something that activates it that just does it quick, like a typhoon. Or you take out a monster, you do something that does it quick, which is a dark hole. You got to implement both ways. Why not use a set down quick spell that could take out that monster still? You understand what I'm saying? And then I understand trap cards, you still have to set them down, but the most common way for a monster to be destroyed is when it's summoned or it attacks. Why won't you use other trap cards that is not when it's summoned or that it attacks that it destroys it? You know what I mean? You just utilize those things, and it'll make you'll start to think that you don't have to quit Yu-Gi-Oh. The main the main reason to when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh is to you gotta win the duel. You know what I mean? And the goal is bring your opponent's life to zero. You know what I mean? That's another reason that I want to talk about in this video. People think that people think like like it's gonna be like it has to be the same way for everything. You know what I mean? Like the whole like when it comes to winning, like just win to bring your opponent's life points. Just play to bring your opponent's life points to zero. That's the main way of winning. It's not like you're running an Exodia deck. It's not like you're running a Final Countdown, a Destiny board deck, or certain cards that declare wins, like a gimmick puppet deck with that guy that gives you the win, or like a Venomanaga deck that with the deity that gives you the win. It's not like you're running one of those decks. People tend to lose like the main focus on like playing the game. So like I said, I'm not trying to give up my play style. I'm not trying to give up anybody's play style, but just do what's meant to win. Just do what's meant to win for the duel. Just do what's meant to win, and that's obviously bringing the life points to zero. So I mean, I'm not saying run a burning deck, but burn every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Forget about all that extra shit. Zexo and all Yu-Gi-Oh's like that. And Arc 5 and all that summoning shit, forget about all that shit. You think about that shit, you're gonna let that shit get to you, and then you're gonna quit. That's what happens. You just gotta play the fucking game. That's it. So going back to what I was saying, and I think I'm finished with the story of this guy. You guys probably understand what I'm trying to say. Going back to what I'm saying, so now you have these, strong ass fucking synchro monsters out. You're gonna wanna destroy them shits. You know what I mean? And like I said, what is the number one way people think about destroying monsters? Is with traps. So what is basically Zexo? Like I said, Zexo is like monsters that have like trap effects. Like, oh, their effect is limited. There's only two. Their effect is limited. There's only three. At first, I thought just because of that, they were trash. The Exceed monsters, but then I started noticing, like, wow, these are showstoppers. That's what I call the Exceed monsters. Like, these are really good. Like, I see in my last video, I said the story of how like Utopia, saved my life. And I won the door. It was crazy. And it was fairly new, I think, when Utopia just around the time it came out, or a little bit in the middle, but it was crazy. And the dude had some synchro monsters out. I think he had one of each, a synchro, a fusion, and a ritual. I forgot what deck he was running, or he had something, a synchro or another exceed. I don't know, but I was just like, wow, like this really, saved me. So again, Yu-Gi-Oh is doing it for the game. Now that synchro monsters out, monster effects solidified from the first season to the second season to the third season. I already explained how. The synchro monsters is the quickest thing now, and it's like the things that's in now, not just because of the season, but just because of like everybody starting to understand what synchro monsters are. It's getting out of hand. We need more traps to stop these monsters. How about we make a monster that basically has traps in them? They probably won't see it as that yet, but they'll start to know that's what it is. And there goes your Exceed monsters. That's what they was meant for. So you can't be mad at Yu-Gi-Oh that they fucked it up or that they did this or this and that. You just gotta play the game and know your game. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm not saying I'm the best of the best or number one in the world. Nah. I'm only in this page for the background. And then I spoke about doing this or whatever. That's all it is. But just play the game. You gotta play the game. And like I said, Arc 5, self-explanatory. Those who are still playing the game and that's keeping up with it, no offense to anyone that's not or that didn't get it, for anyone that quit it. I understand. It probably was too much, but I understand. But you guys can always come back. And I just really want people to come back because I don't want this game to get shut down. I'm not saying it is, but I just really don't want it to get shut down. And a lot of people doesn't want for it to get shut down. I'm not selfish. I'm just saying R5 is, I just don't want it to get shut down. Now, going back to what I was saying, R5 is self-explanatory. So now you have the Zexo, Synchro Monsters are still coming out in the Zexo series. So, you had these beast, in the 5Ds, you had these beast-ass Synchro Monsters. At first, it started not so beast. Then they became tight beast, and now at the end of these beast beast. So the beginning of these not so beast, middle of these tight beast, ending of these OD beast. So it's like, see, they did the same thing with the Zexo. They did the same thing. They did the same thing with the Zexo monsters. But then that the beginning of the Zexo monsters, they wasn't as strong. But in the middle of it, they was like, okay, we gotta do something to stop these synchros because synchros are still coming out, and overall as not just in the middle of Zexo, but even in the beginning. So that's why that guy was saying like, oh, it's annoying because if I don't set up properly, you could just bring out an exceed because you don't even got to worry about getting a tuner. Well, bro, Synchros is getting out of hand. We needed more trap monsters. Exceed is like trap monsters, like I said. Moving along from that, now we're in Arc 5, people. Yeah, we just had trap monsters. It would only make sense if they make magic monsters. Oh, and guess what they do? You could bring out fucking exceed monsters even more quicker and synchro monsters, literally. So I understand why people quit for Zaxel. I just don't get why they didn't come back for Arc 5. Because the reason, what I seen from my own experience, that people quit Yu-Gi-Oh! I know it happened even more after Zaxel. But remember what my percentage was? That shit was a 25% to 33%. 25% to 33% of people quit after 5Ds. And then when Arc 5 came out, you could say 70% quitted. Because I said by Arc 5, it's like half of the people that used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Quitted. But 25% is still bigger. 25% is after 5Ds is still bigger than 17%. You know what I mean? After 5Ds, the beginning of Zexo, 25%. By the end of Zexo, 33%. Then another 70%, then another 17% at the beginning of Arc 5. So like I said, 24% is bigger than 70%. You know what I mean? So I feel like the core reason is because of Zexo that people quit. But I just don't get how y'all didn't come back for Arc 5. Because Arc 5, y'all was talking, all this about synchros this, synchros that, da da da. I used to love it when it was synchros this and that. Zexos, they changed the game, they messed it up, complaints, and there was tying all this stuff. Some people actually didn't complain, some people just couldn't figure it out. Maybe certain things that I said right now will help them. I don't know, or stuff that I was just saying in this video they didn't figure out. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So you have people that complain, talking shit, people that just rage quit, and then people that just didn't figure it out. So people that just rage quit, I'm obviously, you know, talking to you guys because y'all basically rage quitted for the fact that this Zexo was too much basically, and then those that didn't figure it out, I understand, but those that rage quit and those that you know just was synchro writing, that was writing the shit out of synchro monsters, like where you guys are at now. Arc 5 came out. It's not just for Zek. It's not just for Exceeds. You know, you can special them in a whole bunch of shit. It's not just for Exceeds. Nigga, Arc 5 came out. You know what I mean? You better start coming back. You know what I'm saying? Because you can run completely, not all tuners in your deck, but a lot of tuners, and then use this quick. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if they're out yet. I haven't really looked. Like I said in my past videos, I'm working on getting Yugioh Pro again, all this other stuff, because it came back and all this stuff. So I'm gonna do it. But I'm sure there's some pendulum tuner monsters out there. You know what I'm saying? So it works, and they could keep coming back. Those tuners, I think there is a pendulum tuner monster. Matter of fact, there should be. I think in that beast, that spiritual beast deck. I don't know. If I'm right or wrong, but if they're not out yet, they are gonna come out. I'm sure they're gonna come out. Pendulum tuner monsters. If they're not out yet, they probably are, most likely. Just like there's pendulum exceed monsters. Don't you think a pendulum synchro monster is gonna come out, or a pendulum ritual monster, or a pendulum fusion monster? I think they'll come out, They'll go to the extra deck. You can special them again after you fusion summon them or whatever, blah, blah. Who knows? This helps. Arc 5 literally helped season 1, 2, 3, 4, and itself. Like, it's crazy. So, that's that. This video is going to be type long. So, What would I say the next season of Yu-Gi-Oh will be about? Since I play the game, like I may not be right. I'll try my best. I always do this for when the new season's probably around the corner because I think Arc 5 is about to finish. I don't know. I don't keep up with the anime like that. Just a card game. I used to keep up with the anime. I think I forgot what was the last one I watched, but basically season of Yu-Gi-Oh B sticks attack power mostly vanillas. Second season of Yu-Gi-Oh same thing, but not with effects mix. 5Ds. 5Ds basically said effects is everything. The effect monsters help even the normal monsters, mixing the effect monsters and normal monsters. Let's bring the normal monsters even closer to being effect monsters. Throwing the tuner, the tuning style. Da da da. They did that. Boom. Oh, Synchros got out of hand though. First season, second season, Zex was like, oh, Synchros got out of hand. Well, first season, second season, third season, they created that trilogy, that lock. It's all about monster effects. And Synchros is the top head of monster effects. They're taking out of control. You know, we the new players out here. You feel me? It's our turn. So what they did, trap monsters. You got to slow them down. Boom, exceed monsters. And then Arc 5 was just loving it. You know what? We're gonna help all of y'all, magic monsters. So you see how they all work together. So you just got to think about like what's next. You know, what's next? Like Arc 5 literally helped. So from 5Ds and down, helped out straight monster effects. Zexo, another summoning helped out. Monster effects as well because it's another way of bringing out effect monsters. But new type of summoning and helped out the traps because it was needed for beast monsters. That trap type of playing style. Like I said, exceed monsters like trap monsters. Now you have pendulum magic monsters. Literally corresponding with the trap monsters that Exceed made. Magic monsters, they could be tuners too, and they can help out the summoning. So nobody can complain. You can bring out Exceed monsters quick, like I said, Synchro monsters quick, any type of monster quick. Even fuse, even rituals, all that quick, all that. You can bring all that quick. You can even tribute, you know what I'm saying? You can even tribute all of that quick, you know what I mean? Because you could just have all these monsters out. So I feel like the next season of Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna have to do with like a Guardian card. I don't know if that's what's gonna be. I've been saying this for a while, but maybe I really don't think this one is gonna be. But I'm just gonna say it. Maybe a card that protects all that, like a new field zone on the card that literally protects your side of the field. And it's gonna be like a Guardian card. Like he could always stay on the field, but whatever damage he takes, the difference is taken out of your life points because that's the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you throw that card in your deck, shuffle it or whatever, and when you draw that Guardian card type of stuff, there's a Guardian, field zone now. Just know when you summon him, you can't take him out of the field. Summon him, her, whatever. You can't take him out of. When you summon him, her, you can't take out that card out the field, regardless. And the difference is go to your life points. I just thought about that, a long time ago, but I'm just saying maybe that's what it is now. I don't know, but that's just a good idea because you basically trap yourself. That guardian monster might have a good effect. It might not have a good effect. It might have weak attack. It might have powerful attack. So basically, he protects your life points or your monster with his effect or his attack. Because I was thinking like if his attack is 4,000, anything with 4,000 attack or less can inflict life points to you. You feel me? It has to be higher than that. That'll be beast, right? That'll protect your life points crazy. So even if you bring out all these brolic ass shit, if my guardian card has 8,000 attack points, you can't inflict me with anything. You have to literally destroy him basically by attacking him. So some guardian cards could get destroyed. I guess that's the higher. the attack is, it could get destroyed, but the lower the attack is, it can be destroyed by battle, can be removed from the field. But remember, since the attack is lower, the damage is still getting inflicted to your life points. The difference of, the attack. So that's probably what might come out as the next season. That's like kind of specific, something I was thinking about for a while, but I've been thinking about it since like I think it was after GX, yes, after GX that would come out. But then I started seeing, what the game was tackling. It was just a guess that I had. So then after that, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have to make like trap monsters and stuff like that, or some type of thing. Not that I guessed Zex or not, I didn't guess it. I was still thinking the same thing. And then Arc 5, and I'm still guessing the same thing. I feel like now, since a lot of people's complaining, they gotta come out with like, or they probably are. They got to. They probably are. Who knows? But with something that basically like protects, the life points and the field better. Because remember what I said, how the season started. The second season just made the first season more relevant. The third season just made the first and second season more relevant. The fourth season made, well, I should say, the second season made its the second season made the first season and itself relevant. The third season made the first, the second, and itself relevant. The fourth season made itself and the first and the third. Made the first and third and itself relevant. And then the fifth season made the first, the second, the third, and the fourth and itself relevant. So it would only make sense if something like that comes out. Something that even if you bring all that crazy shit because of Arc 5 and all this and that stuff, you still have these cards that just change literally the game, you know what I mean? Still the same game. It's not a new mechanic, still the same thing. But it's just strong enough to like make it fair. So that's just my thought on it. But hopefully this video helps the people that quit to come back. I mean, you guys can't really like say anything. I mean, literally because you already quit it, so I probably won't even come back. But it's just like, if there's people right now that's thinking about quitting, like just really think about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just how the game is, and utilize it. Think about those things I just finished saying. Spells, traps, monster effects, whatever they are. I'm telling you, I'm not saying I'm the best of the best, but just think about it. Think about the main reason for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just to win the duel. That's it. So it's 100%. Me to you and Gam. Signing out. Later, guys. Just try to keep playing.